was launched.
Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of AF24NEWS Talks. Today, I'm joined by two panelists to discuss issues pertaining to Nigeria as a country, like fresh issues. We are always here every week. Tune in every week and don't forget to subscribe. To my left, we have Dr. Olabisi Dejifolutile, a director here at AF24NEWS. And to my right, we have Dr. Olayinka Oyegbile, an editor here at AF24NEWS, the editor of the paper. So today we are going to talk about the increase in electricity tariffs that has been introduced to Nigerians by the federal government, actually by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission. So as at last week, it was revealed to us that about 2 million customers would experience an increase in over 230% of their tariffs, and the subsidies that the federal government is paying on power monthly will drop by about 137 billion naira. So today I want to discuss the issue with my panelists. I want to first ask Dr. Dejifolutile, what do you think about everything that happened in the last week, especially with the announcement?
Well, I would say it's another dosage from the federal government. Since the inception of this government, we've been having doses of, don't let me call it hardship, one way or the other. So last week's announcement on increase in tariff for band A customers is another way of making Nigerians pay more for services. Yes, the federal government is saying that they want to end subsidy on electricity. But some people will also tell you that there is no subsidy at all, and that that subsidy ended maybe more than 2-3 years ago. However, we don't know the government pulse. We don't have access to the account. So if government says it's subsidizing, then maybe it is. But the interesting thing is that for me, this is just the introduction according to the government itself. It's like the band A people are being used as the demonstration, or like the guinea pig. I just remember that there is pig before something. So they are used as the guinea pig. So they've told us that other people on other bands will also soon start paying more. So I think for me, the first thing that came to me is like another dose again of icons. We've paid more for fuel. We've been paying more for everything. And this time around, we are paying more to use electricity. Yes. Some people will argue also that electricity cost, or what we pay for electricity in Nigeria, is not commensurate with what we are getting, that we are paying less than what we should be paying when we compare to other parts of the world. But I also know that other countries also subsidize things for their citizens. Like they will also tell us that a country like China subsidizes electricity. So I know that last year UK subsidized when there was problem in Ukraine, and when they said the Ukraine-Russian war affected power or something. So countries do subsidize from time to time. But back to your question, the first thing that came to my mind is, another increase. So I don't know if I have answered you.
Sufficiently, man.
Okay.
Going to Dr. Oyegbile, I want to ask what specifically do you think the government is trying to achieve in terms of change, and how, I don't know, based on track record or based on what we have on ground now, what would you say is what we can expect to see from this?
Well, as I said at another forum, as far as I'm concerned, I think government is just at its wit's end. It is expanding its own spending and contracting the spending of the citizens. And the only way it thinks it can make more money from citizens is to ask citizens to pay more tax or to pay more for everything. Because since this government came in on May 29, 2023, there has not been any respite for Nigerians. We all know when a new government comes in, the government even gives you some time, gives you some leeway that, okay, well, this is what I want you to enjoy. And then there's that period we call honeymoon period, when people will enjoy the government. But came in, subsidy is gone, and now this. We have not even finished settling down or getting how to cope with it. This has come in. And I want to say categorically, and I'm sure this category band A thing is only a test. They are just test running it. In another few months, they will come back and they may not even tell us. You just find out that everybody is almost doing the same thing. Because even if you are going to do a test run from 66 naira to 224, where is that ever done? I mean, it's so astronomical. And I think the government is a bit unfeeling and taking Nigerians for granted, that Nigerians will always adjust and all that. Up till this moment, 30,000 naira is still the minimum wage. So if you pay someone 30,000 naira and then you are charging them, because this band A thing is not Nigeria is not such a, how do I put it? It's not such a segmented society kind of thing. You will find where you think you are very people who are affluent. You also find those who are living from hand to mouth there. So how do you now pay, or how do you now segment that to say that some people are band A or band B or whatever? I just think that the government did not think this very well. Now you have removed so-called subsidy on fuel. You have removed, in fact, the most shocking thing for me is hearing that there is subsidy on electricity. Okay, you have removed that too. Now, all this electricity and fuel, all of them are intertwined because they are the basic elements that make for production, either in a factory, Sinatu down the road who is grinding pepper, and the other man who is selling whatever. I mean, even the vulcanizer that is working on our tire, they all use fuel. So, or the one that uses fuel, the one that uses electricity. So, all these things boil down to the fact that Nigerians are beginning to see that they are going to pay more for everything they are doing. But the government has not been able to tell us what is it that they are bringing to the table. Now they are just asking us to continue to pay more. What is it that you are going to do for us? We don't know.
And Dr. Deji, these points that we talk about, how like it's difficult for us to say that the government has handled it in the best way. But do you think there were better ways they could have done it? Like, and do you have any suggestions as to how they could have handled it?
Well, I think right from the time this government took over, it's been anti-people. If we look at his policies, I would have thought that government should have started from the top by reducing cost of governance.
Yeah.
That's what I would have thought the government would do. And doing that, they will have saved some money. It does not mean that fuel price, for example, cannot go up, but at least it may not be as high as it is today. We know that in this country, we waste a lot of money on governance. Look at the vehicles that even follow our president when anytime is going somewhere, the convoy, anytime it comes around. Of course, people will say not everything belongs to government, but that's what people can see. You count up to 30, 40, 50 vehicles in a convoy. How do you explain that? That's a lot of money. And do you now want to talk about aids, government officials, or aids to all these are politicians? In the history of this country, I don't think any president has ever elected aides that are as many as what we have presently. So where do we talk about cost of, where do we talk about reduction? Where do we even give the impression that we are trying to, we are in difficult times and we are trying to reduce the expense of governance? And you see, even the supplementary as well as the budget for 2025, you see all kinds of things that were for 2024 rather, all kinds of things that were included in the budget. Did we see anything that showed us that government was trying to cut down on cost of governance? No. So these are the things that we ought to have looked into, rather than just looking at impoverished citizens and trying to make them do more. For example, look at this issue of ordinary ownership, car ownership certificates. Then you have to be collecting every year when ownership has not changed. So you just give people the impression that you are just interested in making them pay money. Government may be broke, well, but we also have expected prudence, a greater level of prudence in the way we manage the resources that we have. I don't think we have witnessed any change in terms of wastage of our common national patrimony from the time that this person came in, this new administration. The waste in the system is still there. People still, the corruption is still there, everything. So like Dr. Oyegbile said, it's like for us in Nigeria, the poor should pay to subsidize the rich, not the other way round. Yes, some people will argue that for this increase, that it's actually about the wealthy neighborhoods. The rich are the ones that we usually ask for a 20-hour power supply, which is not a bad idea if they can afford it. And they will say that right now the rich are being made to pay for because they can afford it. Yes, that argument can go. I quite agree. But another thing that it brings in is the fact that you have also, stratified the society in that you have already concluded that some will have access to power, some will not. And in a normal society, everybody should be made to have access to power. You understand? So that is the difficulty that I'm even seeing in all of this. Another problem, because what gives us the impression that those other people on other bands will have access to this power. Now, it's another thing. We don't know what it's going to be. So I think for me, I would rather have a situation where government plans for every Nigerian citizen. and make things of making power available at an affordable cost. Yes, it's been going up in any case. It's been going up since. It's just that this one was announced. They've increased this thing more than 3 times since this administration came to pass. So I don't know if I've answered what you. Those are the ways I think this should be handled, and I think that could have been better than all this bullying us and just making us to pay whether we like it or not.
I'm all right. Let me just quickly add. I think what the discourse or whatever they call the envelope first of all done is to struggle to make the thing consistent. When you supply people power consistently and then you want to increase your cost, people will pay. But now you have increased the cost, people are not getting the power. Then who is at the loss? The issue of metering is still there. So all those who are in band A now, if they have prepaid meter, okay, you know that whether they give you light for that 20 hours or not, your prepaid meter will count and then you. But if you don't have a meter, in the 21st century, we are still talking of estimated billing. I mean, where is that done? So I think those who are said to have invested in the power sector didn't invest anything. They are still running on the own NEPA listing because, yes, NEPA infrastructure. I mean, look at the telecommunication sector. Will the telephone mast fall in any community? And then the telecommunication company will ask the customers to go and fix it. No. But in this case, you buy your wire, you buy your transformer, you buy everything, and then they they now continue to also. So where is the investment that they've done? They've not done anything.
Well, the conversation is ongoing, and government has also said that this is just one step in a series of steps in increasing tariffs. So continue to follow us here on AF24 News Stories. Follow AF24 News on social media across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram to receive up-to-date reports on Nigeria and the world. Thank you for joining us again today and have a wonderful week.